Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're live with Justin K. Sweet, aka Agent Zero. I didn't realize you were a secret agent.
I didn't either, but
Okay.
hey, it was a secret even known to me. So here we
Uh,
are.
so how you doing? Fine. Good to meet you. You've been commenting in my videos. It's good to actually
Yeah,
meet face to. Well, if this is face to face, but you know what I mean.
right.
All right.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on the
No
show.
problem.
And
No problem. I enjoy. That's what this channel is all about: talking to people about comic books. I like talking about comics. I'll talk to myself about comics. That's what Sunday Comics is all about. I just like to. But for those of you who don't know, this is being recorded on a Sunday, and I just recorded a video of me talking about comic books to myself. So it's good to have actually somebody here to respond. So let's start at the beginning. Who are you, and why are you here?
okay, well, yes, my name is Justin K. Sweet, not to be confused with Justin J. Sweet, which a prolific writer, I should writer, oh, artist. He draws really awesome Conan. Lots of, I think he's also associated with the Song of Ice and Fire artwork and whatnot.
Oh, cool.
So I happen to share a name with a real talent there. So I'm a fledgling artist myself, and I'm in my early 40s. I figure it's a good time to, why not take a crack at comics, especially how easy, it's. I don't think it's been as easy to break in with some readership now than it has been, has ever been. So here we are. Now, that's not to say that producing a comic book is easy, because it's really not. I'm
I,
sure
I,
you're
I hope
learning
it's
that.
easy. I'm dipping my toes in the water. I'll find out.
Yeah, it's
Like everything in my life, I'll find out the hard way. I never find out anything the
right.
easy way.
But I think the strangest thing is when I was a kid, I had, I had these inspirations to go to work for Marvel or DC. When I'm reading the comics, and mostly like for Marvel. And as I was reading the comics and this, and I'm like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could do this or do that? And now I don't care anything about it. It's like I would rather own my own property, tell my own stories the way that I want to tell them. Now, yes, I do believe that I need to at some point hire an editor to help me flesh out my stories in a much better way. But at the same time, I don't need editorial from a big corporation telling me what I can and can't do with my characters. So that's where I'm at
Yeah,
with that. So, but yeah, I'm a big independent, libertarian type person. So yeah, I mean that's where I come
yeah.
from. I'm actually from the South. I live in Tennessee. So
Okay. I hear what you're saying about wanting to work for Marvel Company. I don't. Hey, good morning. Blah blah blah. Boom. Good morning, John. And just let me put your comment up. I'm still waking up. I, I apologize in advance if I seem off. I was working nights and days on various
mm,
days all last week because of
swing shifts.
TSA rules and stuff. Yeah, we had to
Dang.
deal with airplanes and everything. So whatever. That's besides the point. I'm a little crazy this week. But
It's
anyway,
all
as I
good.
said, I think anybody who watches my videos, I make a blanket statement that we all wanted to work for Marvel or DC as children. Like how many of us were drawing Spider-Man and Superman and Batman on our notebooks, and just like one day I'm gonna be telling these stories, and then somewhere
Yeah.
along that time between third grade and now, I think we all made the realization now that not only is that not going to happen, but we don't want it to happen anymore. And how freaking sad is that? Like, let's just imagine some crazy scenario where I doorbell rings and it's a guy from Marvel. Like, hey, you want to write the Fantastic Four? I'll just be like, no,
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. You know, part of I kind of take that back. Part of me would take it back in a heartbeat, just to show them like I could. This is how it's supposed to be done. But I'm more invested in my own stuff, but whatever. So you are making your own comics here, right?
Yeah,
You're a
I'm
writer.
making my first go. Sure.
Oh,
Yes,
this is your
I'm a
first. Oh,
writer and
okay.
creator. Yeah, this is my first ever endeavor. So here we are.
What's the name
um,
of your comic that you're making?
Chrome Dog. It's this first issue is Chrome Dog number one, Perfect Strangers,
Okay.
and it's essentially it's going to be one of the of three. It's a story arc for. I'm not really telling an origin story here. I'm just kind of just hitting the ground running. But there is a certain problem that Scratch, that's the name of Chrome Dog, he has to deal
That's his
with.
secret identity.
Yeah, I mean, it's more or less the name that he goes by. He doesn't know his real name.
Okay.
He's a. The best way to describe him is he's a cybernetic werewolf, but he doesn't change or anything. He just looks like a big burly metal werewolf that is ready to take someone's teeth out, but is as cuddly as a teddy bear. If especially he's very soft towards children, um, and he's a protector for first and foremost.
So this is gonna be a crowdfunded comic.
Yeah, gonna be. It is. It has been.
Oh, it is. So it's live right now. Okay.
Yeah.
Send me all the links. I know you sent me links. Let me make sure. But
yeah, no problem.
Send me all the links. I'll put them in. I want to help you promote. So where can we get this? Is this?
So it's on Fund My Comic right now.
Fund My Comic.
Now, if folks want to look at the already closed Indiegogo campaign, they most certainly may, just to see what kind of what was, but it's not. But yeah, I just put it in the private chat there for you, John.
You got it. So I'm gonna put a link in the description.
But yeah,
I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description. But if you copy and paste what I just put in the chat, you should be able to go there. That's the Fund My Comic. I had Luke Stone on my channel, the owner, operator, general guru of Fund My Comic. What a great guy! And I tell you, not to take away from you, but when I eventually do I think I'm gonna go with Fund My Comic.
Absolutely.
I just like the idea that Guru Goggle, he's one of us. If anybody gets that reference.
So with me, I'm very. I'll
leave this up for.
I'm very. I should say I'm very grateful to Luke Stone, because not only is he this Fund My Comic partner, but he also he's the artist of Chrome Dog, and he helped me design the character. Yep, he helped me design the character, and that was pretty much our starting of our working. Right. Well, and that's it's been a little bit like, because the thing is, he's really busy with that, but he's also busy with some other projects, and then then there's Chrome Dog, and so it's but yeah, we're in it together, and I remember we were kind of in the middle of getting everything situated or whatnot, and he approaches me and he says, "Hey, do you want to be a part of Arrow Comics?" And I'm like, "Are you kidding me?" And he says, "No, I'm not kidding you." He says, "Randy wants to bring you on as a and put Chrome Dog as part of an Arrow Comics title." And I said, "Cool. Yeah." No doubt. Which, by the way, folks, this is Luke Stone's own book, Arrow Comics. It's Hybrid Sons of Gods. This is his trade paperback. So
cool.
But
so again, maybe because of my crazy work schedule this week. So Chrome Dog is live right now on Fund My Comic.
Correct.
So if you copy and paste this link, this particular link, and put it in your whatever browser of your choice, you'll be able to. Is it like in demand, or is it still being produced?
It's still being produced.
Okay.
And I mean, yeah, people can still back us. We've got, we still have stretch goals that we're trying to attain. Once we get to 5,000, I think, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's $5,000. We'll get. I'm gonna commission the Wally the Wolf sticker, which Wally the Wolf is actually a character that Chrome Dog dresses up as in his day job. So, and yeah, and I mean, speaking of that, if you want to kind of get the scoop on the whole Wally the Wolf thing, you can either read the comic directly on the campaign, or you can click. There's a couple of links on the campaign itself to be able to download the PDF Ashcan preview, which is really just the first 10 pages of the full 32-page comic book. So
so Aaron Lopresti's doing a cover for your
yes.
comic? Oh
yes.
my God! Aaron Lopresti is an amazing talent. Oh
yeah, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, of course. I always love looking at Aaron Lopresti's art. He did Wraith of God, which blew me away. How good it was.
Yep.
And he's also has Wraith of God 2. I think that's available right now on Indiegogo.
Okay, let me go. I guess.
Yeah.
Screen one.
Aaron Lopresti did a lot of work for Marvel and DC, and he came over to the crowdfunding side, the comics gate side of things, and got some vicious attacks. But I don't understand why people want to attack somebody who just wants to make a comic book on their own. But
right.
Okay, you ready for me to add this?
Yeah. Go right ahead. So this is this is this is Old Man Lopez. I don't know if you're familiar with the lore, but aka Aaron Lopresti.
Okay.
I approached him to do a variant cover because one of the things is I like his. It really is. I like his style and the way that he is able to do monsters in this fashion. And it's new, but it's kind of a throwback to that classic look and everything. But I approached him because I kept seeing all these covers by all these different artists, and I'm thinking, well, I really like him. I backed Wraith of God, and then once I got it and read it, and I said, okay. As soon as he dropped the Blood Hunters, I'm like instant back. So like from now on, I'm in it to win it with Empire, which is his comic brand.
I've always liked him, and man, Wraith of God, I don't know what it is, but I'm in a phase right now where I like westerns again, and then like westerns with super. That's right up my alley. So this is Chrome Dog right here. He's like a cybernetic werewolf. Who's this cool guy that he's fighting?
So he's the anti-cool guy. He's actually his name is Seether, and Seether. Okay. Yep. And
that's his cool.
His superpower is he can superheat his it's his blood, and he can disperse heat at different points of his body, and he can basically melt metal. And so he's quite the adversary for Chrome Dog to try to.
So it's almost like he's perfectly designed to fight Chrome Dog.
Pretty much, but he's a genetic aberration that was designed by a certain villain that's yet to be revealed. But yeah, he's a henchman who kind of works.
Oh, he's not even the big boss then.
Nope, he's just a henchman. He's kind of like, I like to look at him and this other character that you'll find in the 10-page Ashcan preview. The two of them work together almost like a Bebop and Rocksteady. They're just not that dumb. They both have their own motivation, so to speak, and both of them resent having to work with each other, but they just do because they
me and my partners at work. Stuck. They all resent having to work with me, but
pretty much. So yeah, what we're seeing here is kind of one of this is the an image of the final battle that we find in the comic book. So it's a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean that's what great
that's on the cover,
covers
right?
are for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's on the cover.
Sure.
What are we gonna do?
And that's the point. I wanted something that was completely different than what I'm showing in the first 10 pages, because if we look here, this is the well, actually, hold on, that's a bookmark based on it. This is the standard cover. So this is Luke Stone's cover.
Yeah, that looks great. I like Luke Stone's artwork. I'm looking at that because that's the image that you sent me to promote our chat, and I was looking at it. And, it's no secret that blow it up. Yeah, cool. It's no secret that I'm a John Byrne fanatic. I'm a George Perez fanatic. Like if you could get John Byrne and George Perez and melt them together, that would be the ultimate superhero artist. And I get that kind of vibes from that. I don't know if it's the inking, the coloring, but but I look at these black. I'm pointing to it like you could see my hand. I just really dig that. I think it's really cool. That is just classic superhero comic book artwork there. So good job to Luke, and good job for you for getting Luke to do that.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, this is the bookmark. So I've what I did was I made one of the stretch goals bookmark. Cool. Metal bookmark, and so this is the
metal bookmark. Cool. Well, that makes sense. It's Chrome Dog. Yeah.
Right. So this is the back of the metal bookmark. So it's a two-sided.
Oh, that is cool.
And I don't know if you remember back in, when we were kids in school, they had the book fairs and they'd have the little bookmarks that you could buy. And
Yeah.
so I decided to put this little square here so that whoever has this, they can personalize it if they want, put
Oh,
their
write
little
your
name
name
in
on
there
it.
or
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Because
That
that's, I
would be
mean,
funny. You got to get those
yeah.
little cards that you wrote your name in the library books back in grammar school
Oh, right. Yeah. Nice.
in your pocket.
And then this right here, not many people are going to be able to attain one of these, at least for now. But I did a metal trading card for the first 50 um, physical backers. But that
Oh,
was,
wow.
I mean, so that just a little backgrounder. This campaign's been going on since March. So, and I launched on Indiegogo because Fund My Comic wasn't quite ready yet because the
Yeah, it's only been around for what, 5-6 months now.
Yep. I
Yeah.
mean, it was like I was going to launch on Fund My Comic, but it kept getting delayed because of the back end things having to do with the company
Yeah.
that
Starting
Luke
a
and Todd.
business
I'm
ain't
sure you guys were
easy.
talking about
Otherwise,
that.
we'd all be doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, this is the front of the trading card that I'm having printed, and then this is the back of it.
Oh,
It's kind
I
of
like that.
it's an homage to the Ultra. What was it? X-Men Ultra 95 Fleer
I was
cards, I
just
believe it
about to
was.
say that.
Yeah.
Just about to click
Yeah.
back again. Click back to.
Yep.
Yeah, that is just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That,
and I have to, so I did the graphic design here. So like all of these pieces, these the bookmark itself and this trading card, like I did the graphic design of it. And that's kind of what I enjoy doing. And I can, lettering I've got to get used to, but those are probably the two things that I know that I can, I can
you did the
definitely
lettering.
do. For my book, no. The comic book itself, I did the lettering here. Obviously, I mean
Okay,
it's part of the graphic design, but the lettering for the comic book for Chrome Dog #1 will be lettered by Eric Weathers. He did the 10-page ash can. So I
cool.
mean
Yeah, Eric's
that's
a good guy. He's coming on my
oh yeah,
channel
yeah,
in a couple of weeks. I forget the exact date.
yeah. He's great. I
Yeah,
Battle Brick Road is amazing. It's a really fun book. Um,
yeah.
but yeah.
I like so. You said this is going to be 3 issues, and then you're done with Chrome Dog, and you're going to move on to
No,
something
no, no,
else.
no, no,
Oh,
no, no. No, it's a three issue story arc, and then
okay,
what I would like to do is continue on into perpetuity. I mean,
okay.
that's the goal, like and keep things moving in that direction. It's just this first little part, he has to deal with this one thing to get a certain. He has an onboard virtual intelligence with him named Sally, and she's hell to deal with. And so he has to deal with her, and that's kind of what these first 3 issues are going to be about. And then once we get to issue number 4, then he's just kind of gonna do his thing issue by issue, and we're gonna learn more about the world that he lives in. Because I don't know if you noticed, but there's 2 moons, so we're not dealing with Earth here.
Oh, okay.
So
Shows you how observant I am.
it's all good, but yeah, that's why I wanted this to be the cover
That's kind
to
of
show
interesting.
off those 2
So
moons.
it's elsewhere. I'll
Hmm.
find out. I was going to ask you, but that's the fun is finding out. Yeah, I had Fabrizio Aiello on here, and he was gonna spoil issue 5. I was like, "Don't tell me! I want to read it." That's how
I
you can
love it.
tell I'm interested. If you're gonna offer a spoil, I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead." I don't want to know. I want to read this. It looks good. Aaron Lopresti's art is outstanding. Luke Stone's art is outstanding. Oh, cool. We got more stuff.
I'm going to show you all kind of stuff today.
Cool.
Spilling the tea. I'm going to try not to spoil too much, but then again, the spoilers that I'm going to show today, I mean, it's comic book
My
art,
memory's
and
bad.
they're
I won't remember by the time.
well, I mean, for everybody else, but that's the thing with this being the first offering. I feel like if I don't show people, they're not going to know what it's
Right. Yeah.
about, what we're
You're
doing.
gonna walk a tightrope. Am I showing
Yeah,
too much, or am I not showing
yeah.
enough?
But
You know.
it's I feel like this first issue is definitely going to be one that I'm gonna it's probably going to get reprinted more often because I'm trying to get this thing in the stores. I'm not just here to do the crowdfunding game. Like I want to build my readership. And so, but yeah,
So
this is
let
yeah.
me
Go
ask
ahead.
you then: how are you gonna try to get it in the stores? I I figure I'll pick the brains of those who walk before me.
So So there's a couple of options. One of them has to do with this Iron Age distribution that I'm sure Luke talked about in your conversation with him. I didn't. I need to go back and listen to that interview. But essentially, he's working on a way in which creators can submit a 32 page comic book that they have to meet certain parameters because they in order for it to work, they've got a printer that is like, okay, as long as the comic book is this size, this, all of the things, then it's kind of like, it will be available for ordering from it's a print on demand kind of thing. And as retailers order the comic book, it gets printed and shipped out to them. And, the creator in that deal, on the on the other hand, the creator only gets a certain percentage. It's, relatively low. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I know it's probably about 25%.
Yeah,
Or
well, now
maybe
you
maybe
deal
I'm
with
thinking
distributor.
maybe I'm
Everybody,
thinking 25 cents. It's something, it's very low per issue. But for that to get it out there, right?
I
In
remember
that
John
in
Byrne
that
here.
vein.
I went to go see him talk when he was doing the Fantastic Four, and this was a billion years ago. And he said that he made 2.5 cents per issue of the Fantastic Four.
Mm,
So
well,
if you make, today, if you're making 25%, if you're assuming
yeah,
that's a lot more than John Byrne made in the 90s. But then again, he was also selling 200,000 copies back then, so who knows?
that's
You know,
true.
but
But I
that
mean, I mean
Luke,
that's
Luke
that
seems
that's
like an
just
ambitious guy, and I got to give him all the credit because I keep, it's like a wave. Like I'm all excited about crowdfunding, and then at certain times I'm like, is this sustainable? And then I'm like, yeah, it's really great because I can do whatever I want. Nobody can tell me what to do. But I whatever, I don't want to poop on anybody's parade. So that I'm glad that the guys like Eric July and Eric, it must be the name Eric. All the Erics are going around and looking at things in different ways. That
yeah.
if I was a good businessman, whatever. I'm not a good businessman. let's just
Yeah.
leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not either. Full disclosure.
Yeah,
But I'm doing what I can. I
yeah,
am learning that, especially when you're first starting out, you pretty much have to be willing to front load and pay the bill for everything before, and
yeah.
have the thing underway, if not almost sewed up before you actually hit crowdfund. um, and even then just expect that you're going to cover the print run, if that, and then just keep on trucking. um, but again, all everybody has different goals too. Like for me, yeah, I mentioned Iron Age distribution, but I'm also going to have copies on hand to sell locally at my own comic shops. I've also got a few spinner racks that I'm in charge of at different retail locations myself, so like I can get the product out there. But and so that's, I think having multiple avenues to get books in people's hands that's the way to go.
Yeah. Cool.
So,
Yeah.
but
That's it. You want people, you want eyeballs on the comic. Yeah.
right. So yeah, these are all images that most people are already familiar with. They're just full color on the campaign.
Cool.
And then but then we get to right here after this scene here, we got, so this is a mob boss that I've brought in. His name is Bad Clown, not to be confused with the Joker. He's disfigured in a way that, like he can't control his facial movements and whatnot. And even when he's being stone cold serious, his face may betray a certain, like, silliness, and it may cause someone to laugh at him. And he hates to be laughed at.
Okay.
So he can tell a joke, but you better not laugh. You better not laugh too much, because you might wind up with a gun in your face and your head blown off. So, oh wow, yeah, Marcus, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Crowdfunding, it is crowded.
It is crowded, and
It is.
uh, but you know what? At the same time, I'm excited because there's so many wonderful creators with their own ideas and pushing their stuff. Right. I don't want to read about Spider-Man anymore. I'm done. You know, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather read about Chrome Dog or Isom or
Yeah.
all of these products that and I hate saying the word product because that kind of
Well,
removes it turns it into like this corporate thing. But I'd rather read your characters that you're
yeah.
excited about because I've interacted with you a few times, but
Mhm.
I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you care about your character and you want to make the best story you possibly can. Because let's be realistic, it's your character. You want to make money, and you wouldn't have made this character if you didn't like it. You know what I mean? So like,
Absolutely.
I read the mainstream, the big two, and these people obviously don't care. You know, did you read Reed Richards is getting berated by a 6-year-old girl? You stole all my inventions. You're not the smartest. These
I
people
don't.
have love for
Yeah.
Jack Kirby creations. You know, it's just disrespectful. So
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, I missed that, but I didn't need to because all I had to see was what they did to him in um, was it Multiverse of Madness, and I didn't even see the movie. My son ruined it for me because he showed me a clip of it, and I saw what they did to him. I'm like, that's it. Like, I mean, he was the first like father figure. You know, he was the father figure of
that's how
the
they
of
got
the of
ruined.
Marvel Comics, and they completely just turned just and I'm like, and then in that they turn Scarlet Witch into a homicidal maniac, which I'm
Right.
just like, I'm just not here for that. Let DC be the one to be so bloodthirsty. Let Marvel be the exception, in my opinion. But
I
anyway,
the
I
Fantastic
digress.
Four. It's supposed to be like it's about family, and Reed Richards is like the family, the father figure, and it's
Hmm.
being it's like all these people hate their dads, So is it any wonder that that Reed Richards is getting beat up? And if I may be self promoting for a second, that's why I'm making a comic book,
Boom.
and the first issue features the patriarch. That's so he's a father figure superhero. He's got a
Well,
family,
that's
everything like that. So he's splitting his time between his rather large family and superheroics because I see the way mainstream media, movies, television, whatever is treating dads, and I don't know. I guess I'm an oddity because I had a good dad. My dad was a
well.
good.
Well, are you? I mean, this may be a little personal, but are you a father yourself?
No, I'm not a father myself. No, no.
So to me that was yeah, you did, Marcus, man. I was I was over he's asking about Heroes Con. Yeah, I went to Heroes Con it was on Saturday, and I spent quite a bit of time with Andy Smith and Billy Tucci, but we were kind of like a shoot in and out. I really would have loved to have stayed to drink, for drinks and cigars, but we had to keep
Oh,
on
you
moving.
were
I was
at
on
that thing
vacation.
that pic.
Yeah.
You were there.
Well, I
For
was at
those of
Hero.
you who don't know
Yeah, it was.
what you're talking
Go
about,
ahead. Hmm.
there was a picture put on Twitter
Yeah.
of all of these indie creators sitting around a table, cigars, champagne, and steaks, and I love that picture. Too bad you weren't there. I wasn't there either. So, but the picture, and I just looked at that picture, and I was this close to taking that famous milkshake picture and putting them
Mm,
together and just be like, look at the difference.
hmm.
I'm not even talking about men versus women. I'm just talking
Right.
about these independent guys can afford steaks and cigars and champagne, and the mainstream people can only afford a $3 milkshake. I was just laughing at that. So
Well,
whatever.
but yeah, getting back to like the dad part.
Oh, yeah, sure.
That's so seeing what they did to Reed Richards, and the fact that I am a father. Like, it made me like resent Marvel even more. So after that, I said, okay, I'm done with Marvel
Yeah,
movies. Y'all can have this stuff because it's obviously not for me. And that really put the fire in my tank to get moving with Chrome Dog. It really did, because I'm like, if I can't beat them, or if I can't enjoy them, I might as well just get out there and do my own thing
right,
and beat them at their own game in
right.
that in that
I,
regard.
what they say, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, they don't want to.
No, they don't.
They don't want to. So I guess the third option is to move on.
Yeah, for sure.
I may be an a-hole, but I'm not an a-hole that goes where I'm not wanted. So they made it abundantly clear that they don't want me. So you know, and what's funny is I love comic books. I want to talk to people about comics, and I've been reaching out to people, only to find that I'm blocked.
Yeah.
You know, people that I never interacted with, and I just want to talk about comic books. I don't care about our political differences. I'll talk to the other side. I'm a grown up, but they don't want me. So who's the bad guy here? Yeah. So
Well, that's why, and that kind of segues into, kind of where I'm at, mentally, is it's not just about me and Chrome Dog. It's also about helping build our brand, which is Arrow Comics. This T-shirt, I'm wearing this T-shirt. It says "Death can wait. I'm making comics." Okay. now, all credit goes to Randy Zimmerman, who's the editor in chief of Arrow Comics, who designed this shirt, because he and Luke both were they suffered at the hand of COVID, and both of them were definitely knocking on death's door. But
yeah,
apparently,
Luke was like hospitalized in a coma, right?
yeah, well, Randy was too. I don't.
Oh, I didn't know
of course,
that.
I don't know. Yeah, according to, again, he could tell it better, but according to Randy, like, they had to resuscitate him from the point of death.
Wow.
So he actually went over the edge, and then they brought him back, and so that's where this shirt came from. And so when I was asked to become a part of Arrow, of course I jumped at it, because I'm like, it's time for us to rise up and become, actually be a name in comics, in a way, so that people will like instantly recognize who Arrow is again. Because and I wanted to kind of show this, if you don't,
show whatever you want,
if you don't mind. Let me see.
Don't mind.
See how this works.
I like seeing people's comments.
Let's see, and hopefully I don't. Let me change my camera here.
So you said you're a father.
Yep.
Are your comics for all ages?
That is a great.
Oh, I think we lost them. I scared them away. Did it again. I'm always scaring people. I'm a big proponent of all ages comics. I feel that Marvel and DC, especially under the Comics Code Authority during the 70s, the 80s, and most of the 90s, made some of the best comic books that were available to everybody. And they made all ages comic books. And, not to be mistaken with kid comic books. Kid comic books are for children only, and those are good too. But all ages comic books means anybody could read them and appreciate them. And we had amazing stories like the Infinity Saga and the Death of Phoenix and the Trial of Reed Richards, that I thought was a very philosophical comic. And it was all ages, so all ages doesn't mean dumbed down. So
exactly,
pandering to me, like the example is Star Wars, the original trilogy. The original Star Wars movie was an all ages movie. And what did we have? We had lightsaber battles. We had guy getting killed. We had stormtroopers getting killed. Scary Darth Vader coming out of the smoke on that opening. Tell me that wasn't scary for children, but they did it. And then Empire Strikes Back, you had this monster ripping off, getting his arm ripped off and everything.
Right.
And then when you get to Return of the Jedi, to me there was pandering to children with because Ewoks, but that's the difference. Like, if children aren't idiots, they can handle it.
Well, and that's you got
your camera together.
yeah. I'm figuring this out on the fly, as they say. But
that's fine.
So yeah, having to do with Chrome Dog, it is all ages. So, like, a person could let their 6-year-old read it, but it is going to be dealing with some like more high-minded things. But then again, the old comics did too. I mean, and so
Stan Lee argued with Martin Goodman over like, we're not going to dumb it down to kids. And he was very, very happy that he found out that college kids were reading his children's comics, because if you don't treat kids like idiots, they will rise to the occasion. And then maybe 10 years later, they'll come back and reread it and get another layer, so there's nothing wrong with all ages,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I would recommend, 10 and up, but I mean, but
I did a video this morning on Joe Matt's Peep Show. That's not for kids,
Right.
So
yeah. I mean, with a name like Peep Show, it's like, duh. It should. With a name like Peep Show, it shouldn't be for kids.
Matter of fact, nobody should be reading it. Even Joe Matt said he shouldn't have made it.
Well, and that is so that's so speaking of rising to the occasion in Chrome Dog number in the second issue, this is kind of a foreshadowing kind of thing,
Ooh,
maybe, or spoiler, if you will. But I'm not, I'm not going to go too far into it. But there's going to be some things that happen in that book that are going to be, how would you say, horrific, but I want to try. I'm up to the challenge to try to portray it so that it's not. There's no gore. It's almost like a Alfred Hitchcock, happening off panel, but you know what just happened, kind of thing.
okay.
So that's going to be the challenge. But there's going to be some horror elements introduced, at least a little bit.
I like that
So
title, Max Velocity.
yeah. So this is so
Great
these
title.
are these are apparently okay. Randy Zimmerman would definitely know more about the history here, but I know that these two were deeply associated with the early Arrow comics brand back in the 80s. But this one here, this is actually an Arrow comics comic from back then. Um, of course, Spank, that's his character, Spank the monkey. Which, by the way, if you go to arrowcomics.store, I think you can buy this issue.
Okay.
But it's a flip book. So yeah, I flipped it over. Now that I don't think YouTube would let me show you what that one has in
Yeah, I'm,
it.
I'm hazarding a guess
Yeah,
that
but
that's not all ages.
yeah, but this one maybe I don't know, but yeah, I mean but this is from. Let me see if I can get the publishing date on this, just to kind of show that that Arrow, Arrow has been a force in the industry. Oh, okay, so this one's newer. So this one's 1999.
Okay,
Um, but
newer. That's still 25 years ago.
right, yeah,
You know what I mean?
right, yeah,
It's funny because I just stopped reading Marvel and DC, but that was 2015. That was 8 years ago. It's funny how time is relative. I guess
yeah. No, it really is.
Corvus. That's a
Yeah,
cool.
have
It,
have you
I
heard of
haven't
it?
heard of it, but I'm looking at Corvus. Is what is okay? You're going to show off that. So show off that.
Well,
We'll
I'm
get to Corvus later.
I'm trying to look at. Okay, so this one has a 1998 on it. So
Okay. And what's the
Ralph
title on
Griffith,
that one?
Wonderland, and it's
Oh,
got the Arrow Comics group at the
okay.
top. But
I
yeah,
love
let's.
Wonderland. I love anything about Alice in Wonderland.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of all ages literature. Harry Potter, Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz. Like when people say that, oh, that's children's literature. I'm like, yeah, well, that's good company, So
All right, so this was 1998.
okay,
So yeah. So I mean, and again, so when both Luke and Randy came up out of their bout with COVID, um, they Randy was he was on the fence, or he was actually going to do Arrow Comics 4.0, that he called it, but there was this deal that went down, and again, they would be the better ones to talk about it, and it was called basically, long and short of it is, somebody was really taking a group of indie creators for a ride, and it wound up going south, and that almost made Randy, just quit altogether and just say forget it, right?
yeah. You hear
But
you hear horror stories in the comic book world about
yeah,
like people taking advantage of you know again, a lot of us are just writers or artists with stars in our eyes, and and then shady businessmen promise the world, and it's been going on since the birth of comics.
absolutely. But it did give birth to the Lawn Shots campaign, which and I don't I know we probably don't have a lot of time to go into too deep in that, but long and short, this was kind of the going to be the resurgence of Arrow Comics, and then of course, in time I would come along, and Chrome Dog is becoming a thing, and of course Randy's got his. Let's see here. So we've got Herobot Zero. Okay, so Calico, he's published this one. This is the new one that he did, Paragon.
Okay.
Um, and so that's Randy's own work there. This one was associated with the Long Shots campaign. This is Russ Leach, by the way. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he does really amazing work.
Yeah, that
Um,
cover looks great.
yeah, yeah. Only Death Can Save Us. That's a
And
fantastic book.
just so for, anybody who's interested in buying these comics, where can they get these?
So all of these Arrow comics here, you can find them at arrowcomics.store.
Okay,
I can
send me
even.
that link, and I'll make sure I put it in the description.
You got it.
Yeah.
Um,
I want I say this every video. I want everybody to be able to make comics as their full-time job. How would that be a bad thing? More comics,
right. Yeah. I
how
mean,
would that be a bad thing? I want Luke Stone to
yeah.
be able to help me make my comic. I want you to not worry about your mortgage, make some comics.
Right.
Well,
And
that
this
looks, is that scary?
it's I was looking at an old Hellshock comic book, and it reminds me a lot of this. So this is called The Sin Killer, and it's by a creator here in our space in Comicsgate, uh, Marv. You may have seen him in the chat here and there. I don't know,
Okay.
but this is a story about a father, a Catholic priest who he kind of exacts a certain level of justice as he goes along. So
Oh, okay.
it's
I
and
thought he was a possessed priest.
yeah. No, not. I mean, not that I can tell yet, but I mean, I'm sure.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows how it's going to go? But
He's like
this
the Punisher priest.
something like that. But
That is a cool concept.
the style of this book, is really it's unique, and I love it. And I can't show too much because it is gory, and I
Yeah.
believe there is nudity in there. So, but yeah, Sin Killer is a good book. And another place you can find all of these books is actually on my campaign. I have a couple, or actually have three rewards. Let me change my camera here. This time I'm going to try not to kick myself.
Well, I'll filibuster. I'll filibuster.
There we go. Maybe, and then there. Yay! I did it.
Oh, that's scary.
But yeah, so on the campaign, on the Chrome Dog campaign, there's three rewards. They're different arrow bundles. One of them has you can get 8 comics. Another one you can get 6 comics. One of which is going to be Chrome Dog #1. And then I have a third bundle which collects all of those. So you get 14 comics plus the
Nice.
stretch goals of the campaign for one price. So I mean, it's it's a really good way for folks to get in as well. So, and all of us arrow creators. So, have you had a chance to talk to Craig White of Soltac?
No, I have not.
Okay, I need to
Send them my way.
Yeah. Well, he's a part of Arrow now too. So he's a Canadian fellow who had some discrimination against him for being
Coffee
even somewhat. Yeah, there you go. Even associated with Comicsgate, the convention that he was trying to help, even up there in, I think it's around Toronto. I could be wrong, but
Believe it
yeah,
or not, I heard about this.
yeah, he's the guy.
Yeah, send them my way. That sounds an interesting story to talk about.
For sure.
But they're the good guys. Censoring artists is a good thing.
Right?
I assume you're American, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you from? You're from the South, right?
So I was born in Idaho, and then
Idaho
I grew up in the South,
ladies and gentlemen. So
no, I was born there. I was born there. My parents were both in the Air Force, and then we migrated when I was about 1 here to Tennessee, and I've been in the South my entire life.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So I don't know about you, but I'm assuming you'd say thing back when we were kids. It was always like I may disagree with you, but I'll fight for your right to say it.
Exactly.
And then I remember somebody said that I'm getting off on a philosophical tangent here, but you made me think with him getting kicked out of the Comic-Con. But if you only agree with speech that you agree with, then you don't agree with free speech. Mm-hmm. And that sounds like a tautology until you really analyze it. And you're absolutely right. Like some people say like nasty, horrible things, but they're allowed to say it, So I don't know about Canada. I don't know if Canada has a Bill of Rights. I really should know more about the neighbor. But telling a guy he can't go to a comic book convention because you disagree with his politics, that's when you're like, you know what the proper response to that is? You make a better comic book than him.
And
You know,
that's pretty much what he's doing. I mean,
yeah.
he is blowing. I mean, Soltak is blowing goals away.
Good for
And
him. I
and
know I ran
he's
philosophical for a second, but that's
no,
one of
that's
what
I
that.
love that. I love
Yeah,
to talk on those high-minded things. I mean, I think in the movie, I need to circle back and see if I can find the
sure.
book that Jarhead. I don't know. Have you heard of the movie Jarhead with
No,
Jake Gyllenhaal and Jamie Foxx?
no.
So it's basically it's a movie about some Marines during I think it was Desert Storm, and eh, there's a conversation that goes on between Jamie Foxx's character and Jake's character, and he says there's no such thing as free speech. He says you must for someone in the Corps, he says you must pay for every word that you say, and whether or not you're in the Corps, essentially that's kind of how it is. I mean, when you speak, you got to be able to back it up with something, and that's where I've heard it said when in order to have the First Amendment, you have to have the Second Amendment so that you can protect yourself
Yeah, yeah.
against the people that would put you down for saying
Me
something
being
they
a
don't
little bit
like.
obsessive, I've always like the Second Amendment should have been the First Amendment because yeah, it, the
Well,
most important thing is to be able to defend yourself and all the other amendments. But
well,
who am I
if
to
the
argue?
pen
I mean,
if the
the founding fathers got it wrong.
if the
Who am
pen
I?
if the pen is mightier than the sword, then it's nice to have that extra dagger like on the back end of it. So when you say something, whether you're writing it or you're putting it in a comic book or you're just saying it, it's nice to have that protection so that if someone tries to come at you, it's like,
Well,
okay, well, I'm
now
not
you
going to
got
let
me
that stand.
waxing philosophical. So
Hey, I love it. Let's
again,
do it.
I feel like I repeat myself a lot, but you know,
Mhm.
every conversation is some listeners' first time. But
Yeah,
during COVID, things got weird. I think we could all agree, no matter what your politics are, things got a little weird and maybe a little bit scary. And I
definitely.
nobody wanted to hang out, nobody wanted to do it, and I'm a social guy, so I started a YouTube channel to talk about comic books, and I was talking to nobody, and then once I started to get a hardcore group of small followers who I'm very loyal to, and thank you guys like Bucky and Jeff Hatcher and all War Duke, all the original guys. So I was talking to them, and I then I started talking to comic creators, and then I started realizing I'm talking to people whose politics align with myself, with the exception of a few people. We've all pretty much. So I've been trying to reach out to guys on the other side, and I'm
Hmm.
finding out that I'm blocked. But I would love to have a Mark Wade. Yeah, I would love to have Kelly Sue DeConnick and talk.
What? Would
Why
you
not?
really?
Why not? Don't you want to pick the brains of other people,
Well,
understand
yeah.
what's going
I
on?
mean, yeah. That's just
She's
it,
not gonna
though.
stop me from making a comic book. I would love to hear what's going on in her head. Why not? I find it to be fascinating. Like,
But that's that. But
but then
therein lies the problem because
therein lies the madness. Yes,
but the madness is we're intellectually immature in this day and age, right? And so many people, instead of calling it an interview, they would say, oh, you're platforming that person. It's like
so what? Call it
you're
whatever you
giving them
want.
a voice, and it's like, no, they have a voice. Someone wants to interview them. You have the interview. It
I
is what
would
it is.
love
Absolutely.
to sit and
I
talk to
just
Dan
she would
Slott.
be.
You know,
Yeah.
an
Oh my.
honest conversation about comic
Any.
books.
Well,
And
but
why do you block people? Like provided he
that's the
wasn't
thing.
antagonistic, but
That's the thing, right? If anyone is slamming the door in your face before you even get a chance to knock, like as much as I would love to, hear from or talk to Dan Slott because there
I
was
was
a
a
time that
fan of
I
his.
admired what he was doing, right? There was a time that I admired the guy, but when
Right.
he blocked me for not like it was just because I'm associated with Comicsgate. I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it doesn't. It's I see where you're at. I'm over here. Maybe we could have been colleagues, but if you're going to be that adversarial, and with Kelly Sue DeConnick, she's proven time and time again that she doesn't have she would care nothing for talking
Right.
to anyone like us. So
So who's the bad
yeah.
guy?
Say goodnight to the bad guy.
You know what I mean? Like I would love to talk with these people, and
Yeah.
I guess these people sounds condescending, but what I like disagree with me. I would love to talk to them. You know, why not extend
Right.
extend an olive branch? Who knows? But it's better than segregation and separation and hostility. Like,
100%.
oh my God, I could you imagine me and Heather Antos talking like an honest dialogue, not like her preaching to me and not me attacking her. Just talking like, what comics did you like as a kid? In
I
a
think
good faith conversation with Heather Antos, I would love that.
I think the one
She's
one
not my
person.
enemy. She's not taking money
Right.
out of my pocket. She's
Right.
destroying her side of the people.
Right.
If anything, she's
Yeah.
making people want to come and buy your comic book. She's destroying your comic book. She's
Right.
like she's like a neutron bomb, just going into companies and destroying them. So I would love to talk to her.
Well, I think of that group, I think the one person that might actually give a little bit of credence to somebody like you, okay, maybe Gail Simone, maybe.
I reached. Oh, I didn't mean to turn that off. Yeah, I reached out to Gail Simone. She actually. Oh wow! Look at your channel. You do good comics.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, she watched my Shogun Warriors video, and I was like, oh my God! Out of all my, I do like a 10-minute rant against Gail Simone in that video.
Oh no. Well, I mean, what did she just, was that like an instant block? Because I don't think
I'm
she
not,
would.
to her credit, I'm not blocked, but I have the feeling
she's
I'm muted.
yeah, she's not that kind of person. Not that I've
But
noticed.
I was a fan of hers.
Yeah.
Did you ever read Leaving Megatropolis? I think it's called.
No,
it's an excellent comp. Me and my friend were like, "Oh my God, this is so good!" And then I have to say that the Secret Six was good. She did a good run of Birds of Prey, and I don't know what happened, but that whole women in refrigerators things was nonsense. Like she came into the comic book field, I think, under bad faith, but I would find her fascinating to talk to.
Well, what about
another one? Mark Wade.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody could deny he's not a good comic book writer. He's a horrible person, and he's a but he's a good comic book writer.
Yeah. By the way, I mean,
in a good faith argument, like if anybody on the there you go.
I've got this. Yeah, I've got this, and it's pretty decent.
He did a good run on the Flash.
Yeah.
He made the Rogues Gallery interesting. Kingdom Come, we're all fans of Kingdom Come. He, like, I don't know, on the odd possibility that somebody on the other side of Comicsgate sees this and talks like Kurt Busiek. Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, Kurt Busiek used to be a member of my very first. Remember bulletin boards and forums, stuff like that around.
BBSs. Oh yeah, where you
had
dial in.
I had a forum. It's still in existence,
yeah.
And he was a member when I had 35 members of that, and we used to talk about comics. Now I go to invite him on my channel because I loved Astro City. It's one of my favorite, and I'm blocked. And we had that one bothered me because we actually had personal interactions.
Yeah.
But then
you felt like you had some kind of rapport.
I have to repeat that. Who's the bad guy? Me or Mark Wade? Fix this now, Ethan. Get Mark Wade on my channel. That's funny. Marcus Kelgrew. He pretty much created the Speed Force. Yeah, Wade. I hate the Speed Force. It's a stupid idea.
I mean, well, okay. So I'm gonna.
I ranted. I'm sorry. You got me.
No. I think. I mean, what now? Was Speed Force before or after Rebirth?
It was before.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Wow. I think the Speed Force came out like in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
Now it's just another get out of jail free. Let's rewrite continuity, and there's no consequences anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to get away from in my comics. I think what I want, I guess what I'm trying to do is I want to establish a story. I want to let the story progress. And once I run out of runway for a character, I'll just sunset him for a little while and work on something new. come back to that other character when the time is right, and when when I'm ready to, and just kind of do that. I think that's what it has been. The problem in comics, in the comics industry, is they especially once they became so corporatized, that they would just squeeze the juice out of this one little thing that just and they lose sight of what made it great to begin with, you
I
know.
remember back in sixth grade, I was like an evangelist for comic books. I would bring comic books to school, and these classic John Byrne, Chris Claremonts, I'd bring them to school. They got destroyed. I look at the price of those comics now, but I used to hand them to my friends to read. This is why I like comic books. These are so good. And I remember one of my friends, Andy, he just said, "I'm not interested because Spider-Man's never going to die. Wolverine's never going to die. Superman's never going to die. So there's no threat. There's no stakes." And I was like, yeah, I they're not. But it's the cleverness of the situation, and
Hmm.
all the. But even now with this multiverse and Speed Force, like even when they die, Barry Allen is back. Jean Grey is back. You know, so you know, Miss Marvel died for like 25 seconds, and now she's back. Who
Oh
cares? Who
man,
cares?
that's
So
not Miss Marvel. I'm sorry, that's not Miss Marvel. I mean, at best, Carol Danvers is Miss Marvel. She's not Captain Marvel. I don't care who. I mean, if you want a female Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, the original, is my female Captain Marvel. Okay,
I have to laugh at
Marvel.
because
You know,
I
you know,
they took away a black woman and gave the title to a blonde, blue-eyed blonde.
and it's worse than that, because as Eric July points out, in his scathing review of Captain Marvel, not only do they do that, but they turn her into this white savior kind of thing in the movie, and have Monica Rambeau be this little girl looking up to this white woman. And so so you got the infantilism going
Yep.
on there as
Well,
well.
the boy Zach
And
always said that
yeah,
these progressive comics they infantilize. I can't even say that word.
yeah,
Black
infantilize, yeah.
people, and they
Right. They
they
do
make them like,
condescend.
yeah, they're very condescending. That they're
Very.
flawless baby characters.
Yep.
You
And
know.
I got news for you. I got some characters under my hat in my universe, and eventually they'll flesh out. One of them in particular, he's got some hard bark on him, but yeah, he happens to be of an alternate ethnicity than mine. But in my world,
Oh,
the views are different because it's a completely different universe. So I mean, it's far removed from the political trappings now. However, it is at a distant place in a distant time.
that's interesting.
So
So you literally world build it. You made your own planet and your own little.
I did, but there's going to be things that creep in because, of ancestry, because, the humans that inhabit the new place, they came from here. And
Okay,
so,
okay,
even though it's in the future, it's not futuristic,
okay.
and so it's my sandbox. I get to play with it.
A little sport. My if my comic, I'm trying to get it launched. My first issue is I already said it's going to feature the superhero, the patriarch. And the second issue, I don't want to give the name or anything like that,
Sure,
but the
sure.
main character is going to be a Chinese woman.
Nice.
So,
Heck
and
yeah.
oh my god, I feel bad for the things that this going to happen to this poor girl.
So,
Because
so
I don't want to be accused of, oh, look, she's perfect, and then no, there's going to be some bad stuff, bad things that happen. I created white characters. Okay.
Well, I mean, well, it remains to be seen just who Chrome Dog originally was. Was he white? Was he black? Who knows? Now his
No, but what
soul,
what matters is the
his
initial
essence,
character.
his essence is now inhabiting this metallic body from the future
Cool,
past
cool,
future.
cool. I,
But
so this your campaign is still live right now on
it
Fun Light
is.
Comic. Let me see if I could scroll back and get that. Yeah. So this isn't a clickable link. If you copy and paste this into your browser, that'll take you to get Chrome Dog. Um, you said it's going to be a 3-issue arc, and then do you have the next arc planned out? Do you know what's going to happen next?
Um. So no, I don't. But I have this one plotted,
Okay.
for sure. Um So I'm not, I don't know. I think after this first three issues, I'll probably wind up kind of switching over to some other characters,
Okay,
and in the Epsilon City universe, so to speak, the same city, different, different takes, and different things going on there, and they may or may not, encounter Chrome Dog from time to time. But yeah, this is the campaign. Um, we got 37 days to go.
cool,
We've already, of course, we funded over on Indiegogo, and to date we've raised 42.83,
nice.
um, and yeah, and I have a, there is a digital copy for people who want to download it. I believe that digital should remain, you know, uh, minimally priced. That's just me. Um, and as far as the comic book itself, again, crowdfunding is, you're helping us fund the production of the book, and that's why this price tag is what it is. But full, when you buy it in a store, which hopefully will be a store near you, it's going to be more along this price point. At the $5, around five
Yeah,
dollars because it's a
it's an
floppy.
unfortunate. It's an unfortunate way that the price of crowdfunding.
Hmm.
It's it is what it is. And it has to be.
Hmm.
And that's one thing I was talking with Ethan Van Skyver and Eric July about is it is crowdfunding sustainable in the long term, and I don't want to
Yeah.
draw you into that debate, but I have strong feelings that I'll keep to myself.
Well, so to me, there's no debate. I mean, crowdfunding is it's useful. It's a nice tool. I'm one of those that believes that it shouldn't be the way to go every time. If anything, you should crowdfund. I mean, once you get to the point where you're able to sustain through sales, through direct sales and sales and retail and this and that, then your production costs are already being covered. So I think at that point, if you wanted to crowdfund, it's to get the word out about the new book and to cover the print run, and any excess that comes off of that, then you just add it to the next project or whatever, and it just But so here I do want to highlight this Lepresti cover. It's been a while since I've,
Beautiful.
I've said this, but this is, it's a virgin cover, so it's going to be this full piece on the front of the book. This cover is only available during the crowdfunding. So once
Okay,
crowdfunding is over and I click print, this cover will never be reprinted.
okay,
So that's
nice
like, so
incentive.
later on, yeah, later on people will find the book. They'll find the standard book, unless they somehow can get their hands on the limited print run of that at some point. Who knows? That, if anything, this is going to be the valuable one, in
That'll
my
be the
opinion.
chase. Remember they used to
Yep,
say the chase
it's
figure,
going
the
to be the
chase card.
chase.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let
So
me ask you a
yeah.
question.
Mhm.
Do you find do you have more people getting physical copies or more people getting digital copies? Like,
Oh yeah, no, definitely more people getting physical copies.
okay,
100%.
I
Yes. I mean,
nothing
by and
against
large.
people who read digitally.
So
You're more modern, but I need to have a comic book in my hand.
so most, this is what I'm understanding, and this is by many people's opinion. What they'll do is they'll because they want to contribute something, they'll go ahead and get the digital, right, and then they'll check out the book, and if they like it, then they'll or if it's if it's their thing, then they'll spot for the physical.
Oh, so
Um,
if you get this digitally right now, you're able to read the comic now.
Once we actually are done with production, I will make the digital,
Okay,
downloads
okay,
available at that point.
okay,
But yeah, but currently there is the digital ash can, which, I mean, it is a full-fledged ash can. It's
okay.
12 pages. Um, it's 10 pages of story. Actually, I say 12 pages. It's more like, I'm trying to I'm trying to think. We had to fill the page. I guess technically it's 16 pages, and that's
Okay,
because
cool.
I've got ad space, and then you've got the four for the cover, right? Yeah, everything has to be in numbers of four in order to get it done. But essentially, the ash can, it is a PDF, but I could just as easily take it to a printer and have them print up a bunch of ash can copies for me. So it's, it's good to go there, and it's available as a free
Cool.
download on this campaign. Right here is the link if anyone wants to click it on the
Okay.
campaign. But yeah, so I've got the first physical reward tier is you can choose one or the other cover here. Thank you. I'm not sure which is a nice cover. I love them both. um,
That's a blanket statement. They're all nice covers.
yeah, they are. I'm exceedingly happy about them. But yeah, you can choose one or the other here, and then check out and be charge the appropriate shipping. Or this one you can get one of each, so you get both covers
Cool.
on that one for $30 plus the shipping. And then here we go with the Arrow Bundle number 2, which are 6 comics. You get the Chrome Dog number 1 is a part of this bundle, and all the other campaigns that are going on that are associated with Arrow, they're running these bundles as well. So we all kind of are helping each other and helping Arrow
So
grow in
let,
that
let me
regard.
ask you this as a guy who's planning to crowdfund in the future.
Sure.
Do you find people are buying equal amounts of all covers, or is one cover selling more than the other?
Um, one cover is selling more than the other, and you may be surprised as to which one.
The Aaron Lepresti one?
No.
Oh, really? So I am surprised.
Yeah, no. The original cover, the Luke Stone, is definitely more popular, which I'm kind of shocked and surprised about by that
I
one.
don't mean any disrespect to any artist.
No, me either. Me
Yeah,
either. But but yeah, I mean the numbers. I try to be as transparent as I can be. I mean,
I me just because I'm a regular blue collar worker.
mhm,
I get the A cover of anything I back
me
because
too.
first I figure the A cover is the cover that the artist and the writer meant, and
Yep.
I can't afford like 6 covers of a comic.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you there, 100%.
and, and, and mainstream comics forget about the variants because that's just a scam. So
Oh
I'm
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
crowdfunding,
No,
I
I know.
understand it's cool to have a guest artist and to
Yeah.
help, you know, but
Well, and
I can't afford it.
I mean, that's how I backed Wraith of God. As much as how cool the Dale Keown cover was that he did, and I was like, no, I want Aaron's, I want his original cover. And then when I
Yeah,
backed Blood Hunters, I'm like, I want the original cover. These other 2 covers, or 3 covers, I think, because I can't remember now. But yes, I'm with you, Marcus, for sure. I do love
and again, I don't mean
the
any
original artist.
disrespect. It's just
No, not at all.
the flesh is the spirit is willing, but the wallet is weak.
Right, definitely. Definitely. But yeah, so we've
The
got
arrow bundles look great.
yeah, so you got the Arrow Bundle 2, which has, hybrids, the hybrids issue number 2, the Hero Bot Zero number 2. Um, there's a second anthology, which is the Revolt number 2. Then Soltac, the original version of Soltac is a graphic novel that Craig White produced, or Mad Ruth, as he's most notably referred to as. But what he's done with Arrow is he's broken it down into to floppies, and so
Okay,
this is Soltac, floppy number 1, and then there's a new comic that Randy Zimmerman has produced called The Fool, and so that's a part of this. He's the rodeo clown of justice. That's what that's basically that's his that's how Randy calls it. But yeah, and of course you get with this, because Chrome Dog's associated with it, you're going to get all the physical stretch goals. So I anything that has the Chrome Dog comic with it, I want to make sure that the physical stretch goals go with it. As long as it's a physically purchased item, you'll get the stretch goals.
cool.
Sorry to all you digital folks, since you didn't pay shipping. Since there is no shipping on digital, you don't get. I mean, I guess I could send you digital files of the,
He's a
and
picture of a
you could
football.
print your own stuff, I guess, if you wanted. But anyway, so yeah, and then Arrow Bundle number 1. Now this one kind of harkens back a little bit to that Long Shots campaign. There's a few titles on here that are from that, but beyond that, we've got the Sin Killer, which again for kids, not for kids. Sin Killer is the one in here that's probably, parents, if you're going to get this, keep that one away. But it does have Hero Bot Zero #1, Only Death Can Save Us #1, and of course the Paragon book that I showed a while ago, and Calico, the Revolt version NFTs. Yeah, right. Oh well. And then of course we've got Luke Stone's Rift Riders, Luke Stone, Piper Steed, and Steve Dillard. Steve Dillard. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me. John Dillard. I guess, man, I'm messing up today.
It's
I was
okay.
thinking Steve Dillon. I don't know why I was thinking Steve Dillon. Yeah, John Dillard did the did the art for that. So, but anyway, so $50 you get 8 comics on this other one. $40 you get 6 comics, and then if you want the maximum value, you can get all 14 comics for $90 plus shipping.
That's
So
that's not a bad deal.
yeah, and
14
then
comics?
no, it's not a bad deal.
No, not
And
at all.
um,
Me
and all
being
of them.
obsessive, that this is the one out for me.
And then, and of course, we'd appreciate that. We, as in like everybody at Arrow. And now so I've been keeping everybody in suspense, but I've been kind of hinting and announcing on the Twitter feed that I just added this reward this morning. But Luke and I have been working on getting this together. There's a double page splash in the book, and he's going to draw it traditionally, and then we put this up as the original artwork is now available associated with this
Wow,
campaign.
that's pretty cool.
So yeah, once I actually have the image, as long I say there's a caveat. If we get a backer before there's an image, I can't show the image unless I put it in like the updates on the campaign, or add it somewhere else. But to this perk, or to this reward, if you have a backer, and this is something just for your own knowledge, whenever you're running a crowdfunding campaign, I can't speak too much to Kickstarter, but I know that Indiegogo and Fund My Comic is that once you have a backer for like, say for example, this reward here, once you have that one backer, you cannot alter this in any way. You can't change the
Yeah,
image.
yeah.
I
Is that,
think the
yeah, you get a
yeah.
backer. Next thing, oh, it was only one comic. So you got to protect yourself.
Well, but yeah, exactly. And so I think I did a test earlier. So as long as you have backers, you can alter the title, but that's it. Like that's all you can do is alter the
Okay.
title, as far as I understand. So with that, I didn't have any artwork to we're still he was supposed to get me some layout roughs, at least so I could throw something up here. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun
So for that
2-page
tier,
splash.
you're going to get the original artwork to the splash page.
Correct, and it's a double pager, so it's
Right.
two pieces.
So there's only one backer's getting that.
Correct.
Yeah.
Only one
Okay.
backer.
Just making sure I understood everything.
Yep. Only one backer. So if someone wants to back it, thank you. And I'll get the image up as soon as I
Pretty
can.
cool. Get some original artwork.
Yeah. We definitely, we want to make this one one to remember for sure, because
There we go, an exclusive here on John's Long Box.
absolutely.
I think that's my first.
Yeah. Well, there you go, man. I mean, I kind of I wanted to do it. I wanted to have some exclusivity there, and I mean, I'd like to think that we're looking. This is history in the making.
Yeah.
I think Chrome Dog is going to be a character who's going to, he's,
It looks cool.
I'm pretty confident in my abilities, but it once this book gets put into readers' hands, hopefully they'll concur with me. So
how cool is that to come up with a character and have like an artist draw him for you, and then somebody like Aaron Lopresti draw it for you?
Man, what a rush! I mean, it really is. And as I look back on it, just sitting down with Luke, I wasn't even sure exactly how I wanted Chrome Dog to look. Luke and I, we work so well together that what we'll do is when we work out a character, we'll just get on a live, just a backroom live StreamYards, not not actually go
Yeah,
live, but
private
just
live stream.
yeah, just and we'll just talk to each other, and he'll show me like at in real time as he's drawing things, and he'll say, well, what do you think about this? I'm like, what about, what if you do that? And I was like, and then we just kind of, it's almost like a jazz session. We kind of riff off each other and you
Cool.
know kind of
That's
bang it out and figure it out. But yeah, once we got rocking with this, I was like, yep, that's him. That's old Scratch.
cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I gotta get going.
Yeah.
I always try to keep everything as close to an hour as possible. That's, believe it or not, I actually get like very nervous, and that's all I could take before I gotta, you know. I know I look calm and collected, but so anything you want to say? Anything you want to take us out with?
Um, just get out there and find some comic books that you enjoy, folks. Just and maybe I don't know. I would encourage people just to try to not think about the negativity that comes from some of these creators now.
You're right.
Um, when
You're
you
absolutely
pick
right.
up those back issues of Mark Wade or um, goodness, Dan Slott, anything. Um, I'm trying to think of somebody else from like way back when. I mean, I know John Byrne has, he said some crazy stuff.
Yeah,
Barry
but
Windsor Smith was definitely a firebrand in his time, but just
Barry Windsor Smith was like a rock star. He was like ruining hotel rooms and stuff. To be honest, I don't recall John Byrne like insulting the his fans. Like he was just a curmudgeon. He was
right.
just an old. I'm talking to him like he's dead, and you know, he's a super talented guy, and I think he's been burnt, and he's got an ego to go with the talent. So like,
Yeah.
he hates Jim Shooter. Meanwhile, I think Jim Shooter was the best thing that ever happened to him. But
Right.
I don't think he was just like, people who buy my comic books are idiots. Don't buy my comic book. I don't think he ever said anything like that. So he's a different kind of angry. Dan Slott. And again, you're right. Don't buy into the negative. Like, I still love my Star Wars movies. I still love my Star Trek. I still love my Marvel and DC. I still love. They didn't destroy my childhood. Indiana Jones is still there for me to rewatch. What's his name? William S. Burroughs was being interviewed when they made a movie about Naked Lunch, and the interviewer said, "Well, what do you think how do you feel about what they did to your book?" And he said, "My book's right over there on the shelf. I could go read it whenever I want, because that
Hmm.
movie is the movie, but my book is right there. They didn't do anything to my book." And that's the way I feel. My comics are still lovely comics. I still have fond memories of Dan Slott and Mark Wade. They can't take that away from me. But will I be going forward and buying their new stuff? No. Oh, so Marcus has some updated. John Byrne has insulted fans that have been on his website. Yes.
Mm.
I went to John Byrne Robotics. First off, I can't decipher the way it's formatted. And then
Right.
if you like, this topic is about the color blue, and somebody's like, "Oh yeah, the color blue kind of reminds me of the color red." Well, it's not, and you're an idiot, So yeah, it's easy to avoid that, and
Yeah.
I don't know. John Byrne's a special case, and of course, I went to his website and asked if he wanted an interview, fully knowing he's just throwing that request in the garbage. But what if he says yes?
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I think you'd probably get something like way better out of interviewing someone like Aaron Lopresti or
Oh, I would love to.
Rambo,
Ellen
Billy
Lepresti's coming on.
Tucci. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
great. Yeah, he's really good. He's cool.
Aaron Lopresti will be coming on. Billy Tucci hasn't responded to me yet, but
Well,
I've tried.
Yeah. You gotta. There's some kind of magic formula to get a hold of him.
I should go. I live like a couple blocks away from him. Just show up like a swap.
Hey, as long as you show up with
Graham
a
Nolan
sheet.
said
Yeah.
he will in the future, but not right now. He's working on stuff.
Yeah.
I got to respect that. I don't know if you know John McCrae, but he drew Hitman, which is one of my favorite comics of all time. Andy Smith is coming on. Andy Smith is coming.
Sweet.
I love Andy Smith.
Yeah.
And so I was talking with John McCrae. He said, "Give me 2 weeks. I'm traveling right now. Let me come home from travel and we'll set something up." I was like, "Oh man, I really love Hitman." And 2 weeks come by, I'm blocked on Twitter.
Yep.
What the hell happened in 2 weeks? Oh well.
Because he found out your association with, the people, the people who love comics for what they
Don't
are. I mean,
don't you know I do
res-
I like comics? Yes. Matter of fact, when I have my comics, I'm gonna have like a CG stamp on it that I'm designing. But they're the ones that pushed us into this room,
Mhm.
and then are pointing at us, calling us names. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like like I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't think of it. Like they're the one giving us a label,
Yep.
and then saying, "Oh, you're part of that group." It's like you handed me this label,
Yeah.
and then you mad at me. So whatever. But I'm also the one going, yeah, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you. But no, whatever. I'm the bad guy. I would again. You look so shocked when I said I would love to have Kelly Sue DeConnick on my channel. You were like,
Well, I mean, of all the people though, like the
yes,
amount of vitriol she's had, like I
right,
just,
and that's why I would find it fascinating.
well, yeah, no, I would find it fascinating too, right? But to be able to even for
Well, she
her
would
to
never, but
for her to be that mature about it, to actually
that's
have a conversation
bingo,
with you.
bingo.
I mean, I think you stand a better chance of getting Neil Gaiman or Alan Moore on your
Oh,
show than
I,
her.
I sent a message to Alan Moore's daughter. Can you imagine if he came?
That
You
I
know,
mean, I think Neil Gaiman would.
yeah,
It's possible,
yeah. Well,
you
he
know.
already called me a racist.
He doesn't know you.
I was talking about the Sandman, and I said, you know, if Superman's on a movie and Superman's wearing a blue and if Superman's wearing a yellow and green costume, that's not Superman. I said, so Death. I said, Death is black and white in the comics,
Mhm,
and comic books, the image and the color becomes part of the intrinsic character.
mhm,
Spider-Man is red and blue. The Hulk is green and purple. So
mhm,
if the Hulk is on TV and he's blue and yellow, that's not the Hulk to me.
mhm.
Everything about the Hulk is. But I said, so when I saw Sandman, I was excited. That's one of my favorite comics of all time. But I saw Death is not, and I'm not talking Caucasian.
Right.
I'm talking she's not white and black like Steve Ditko once. He wants absolute white and absolute black. That's what Death to me. That was very symbolic of the endless. They are
Mhm,
absolutes of white and black. They're not Caucasians, you
right.
know. And I thought that was very intrinsic to the characters. So it pulled me out of it. And he was just like, "Well, she's a great actress." I said, "I never said she wasn't a bad actress. She's
Right.
probably a wonderful person." I said, "But
Right.
put alabaster makeup on her." And he was like,
Yeah,
"Oh."
exactly.
And he goes, "Oh, so you want her to hide her blackness? That's because you're." And I'm like, "No, you missed my point." And Neil Gaiman, you're smarter than this. You're smarter than this. You
Yeah,
understand
he
what I was
is.
saying, but
He's
but
well, it's checking boxes, man. He
right,
knows what side of his bread is buttered. So I
right.
mean, that's tell him
And
it's a
with
hat group and wear a Yankees hat. Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
Go pound sand.
you know what I mean. And that's what bothered me is don't play dumb. Don't don't
Yeah.
don't pretend you don't understand what I'm saying. And I was saying it very respectful, and I still like Neil Gaiman. I would love to have him on my channel. Talk about how great of a conversation would that be? Talking about that. But whatever. I'm a bad guy. You guys tossed me into a room and then get mad at me because I'm in the room you tossed me. You know.
Well,
All right. Enough
here we
about
are.
me. We're talking about you. So you're selling the original art to Chrome Dog for the
Yeah,
one and only backer. That is awesome. That would be so cool. Frame that, hang that up
for real.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and there are collectors in the CG space. I'm looking at you, Shadow. So maybe this will be your time, Shadowhawk
Oh,
plays.
Shadowhawk, yeah, yeah. That Mr. Biggins, I know is shelling out big bucks buying a lot of original art. Yeah, I seen him. I got sniped a few times on Alterna. I was trying to buy some original drawings by Frankie Washington.
Oh
Other
yeah,
people
Frankie
came in
B.
that last minute and beat me by a
Yeah.
dollar.
Well, the what makes this so what makes this so unique is that Luke is he's a digital artist. I mean, that's all these pages are done digitally, but this one he's going to pencil, in a loose pencils in digital, and then he's going to ink it in the physical. So
Cool.
how that's going to look on the page, I'm not sure. I mean, again, I'm not sure if it's going to be if he's going to use the same images that you're getting in your original art, or if it's going to be even more polished than what you're going to find in the book. I don't know. This is
It's
uncharted
exciting.
territory here. It's very exciting to
Yeah.
me. But two pieces of artwork for essentially the price of one. I mean, it's a pretty good deal
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah. Like you said, it's part of history. I don't know.
that's what I'm thinking.
I think comic books are important. They're one of the, like jazz and baseball. They're one of the original American art forms, and it's beloved around the world. It's
100%.
manga is comic books. With the different flavor. Italian comic books are comic books. I just think that comic books are wonderful, and I think it's because we read them and we look at them. I think it engages both halves of your hemisphere. The military has did studies that you retain information from comics more than just reading and more than just watching. And
Well,
that's why
and
they made those PS magazines to get soldiers to, you know, learn how to load trucks and clean their weapons. So I think that's probably why I remember panels from when I was 4 years old, but I can't remember my coworker's name. Things.
well, and it does. It requires an active. The reader has to be active in engaging with the medium in a way that you don't get from a novel or a short story.
Right.
You can read words and pictures develop in your mind, right? But if it's something about a comic book where you are actually in the moment in a way that, like, it's almost like when you read a comic book, it is present tense. Even if they're trying to tell the story that's from the past, no, you're in the moment. You're presently there in a way that you're not presently there in a novel. You
And
can't, the
and
two
when you
cannot
read a
be
comic
compared.
and Captain America throws his mighty shield at the Red Skull,
Yep.
I see movement in my brain. That
Right.
shield flies and hits.
Yep.
And nobody exemplifies that better than Jack Kirby. Like when he throws a punch, I don't see the movement, but I'm seeing the illusion of movement. And I don't know it, and I remember that. It's just something.
Yeah.
I think they're wonderful. I think they're special, and I really am sad that billion-dollar comic book movies are coming out and comic book stores are closing. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. Chrome Dog should be distributed in comic book stores across in a healthy industry.
Absolutely.
Alternate comics should be on every spinner rack in the,
As well as Arrow Comics.
Yeah, Arrow Comics.
I like Alterna too. I think Pete's doing an amazing job over there, and
he's
and I
comics he's got going on right now. Allegiance
Yeah.
Arts. Alan Lopresti, Wraith of God should be celebrated right now. That should be like an Eisner Award winning comic. I don't
for
know.
sure. If the Eisner Award meant anything these days
Right,
as it used to.
Yeah, absolutely right. What a shame that is. Will Eisner, from what I know about Will Eisner, never met the man, but I met people who met him. They said that he was very particular and very protective of comics. I think this guy, if we were to dig him up, I think he's already drilling halfway to China, spinning in his grave so much.
So yeah, I mean, since you bring.
Oh, I made him hide under his desk. Oh, we lost you. Oh, your mic is off.
Okay, so I went to move. I went to move, and it
Will was
killed
canceled
my
today.
mic. But yeah, so Will Eisner apparently was so protective of it that it's a series of textbooks. Okay,
right,
and this is one of them.
He literally wrote the textbook on the comics.
He did, and a lot of what he does in this book is he's actually giving you. He's actually taking you through the storytelling of the books or of these stories, panel by panel, page by page, and showing you exactly what he's talking about as he goes along.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think Heather Antos knows who Will Eisner is?
Well, of course she knows who he is. But,
I
you
I
know,
I would say when she first put her butt in the seat of an editor at Marvel, she didn't know who Will Eisner is. You know,
mm,
when she got hired, she'd learned now, but I tend to doubt that she didn't know who Wally Wood was, you know, or Mac Raboy. You know what I mean? If I may sound pretentious, but once you get into an editorial position at Marvel Comics, these names should be as common as oxygen. You know, but then again, I have standards. Yep.
I mean, there's so much that could have been and would have been.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
Man, that's so cool. So Marcus, you took that class for 3 years.
The School of Visual Arts. Yeah, did you go?
Wow.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
I wish I had artistic ability. I'm actually gonna do a video on a comic that I made as a kid in third grade. I think that would be fun.
Well, you know, I believe I am going to make a serious crack at it. And so who knows? I mean, you know, these other titles that I'm talking about, they may be
Oh, you're thinking
my
about
own
drawing?
hand. Yeah, I'm thinking about drawing
Oh,
them,
cool, cool.
coming up with my own style. I'd love to. I like to do a cartoony style, not too dissimilar from
Oh,
Bruce
cool.
Timm. I know that's ambitious, but I mean,
Yeah, why not?
you know, I feel like I could do it. You know, he says, "Yeah, I draw comics." Well, all right, Marcus.
Yeah.
I need to see your work there, buddy.
Marcus sent me some art. It's really good. You know,
Is it?
if things go well, I would like to hire Marcus to draw. I have a Western comic. I think his style would be perfect for it.
Well, that and
He
that's
said,
the
I like
thing
to draw
too.
horses. So there you go. Not a lot of people like to draw horses.
That's the thing. That's the thing too about it is we don't have enough people willing to do the dirty work of drawing the interiors. You know, um, so many people want to do a pin up, or they want to do a commission for like a cover, or they want to do this or they want to do that, but not when it comes down to the nitty gritty of the
Right.
storytelling and the actual like.
A hand holding a pen, you know, all that boring stuff that you got to do. To me, that was the problem with Image Comics. Is I ranted about that when I did my Sunday comics this morning. Is Image Comics? It was the perfect name for that company. Every page was a splash page. Everybody was posing, but
Yeah.
there was no substance. It was all image. You know, I didn't particularly like the until around 2005. Then they started making some quality comics, and then they became a political activism.
My work is at comments. Okay, cool.
I just heard the bell. I guess that means you got to go.
No, no. Our grandbaby's here, and so she's playing with this
You have
little
a
bell in
grandkid?
there. Yeah, yeah. Long story.
Oh my god!
We actually have three of them, but
Pop
it's
over. Buy Pop Pop's comics.
Pappy is what I'm. That's what I'm called. I'm called Pappy.
Oh, Marcus Kellegrew. You're gonna start me on another rant. Just when he thought he was gone. Just when Justin was gonna leave.
Hey,
pulls me
I
back.
mean, we can go for
Storytelling
another
is so
hour or two if
important.
you want. Let's do it.
I'm working with Renzo Rodriguez on my comic, and one of the things that I did was I sent the artwork to my wife to look at, and she was able to tell me the story without reading the script, without any words. That is storytelling. But I have to go too, so I just realized we've been talking for an hour and a half. My wife is upstairs waiting for lunch. So Marcus says I could.
Where would we be without our wives, right?
I think I'd be homeless. I would be homeless. So Marcus, I don't know if you're talking to me or if you're talking to Justice, but either way, I'll take a DM from you. He's here in Charlotte. Okay, but thanks a lot. Chrome Dog is live right now on Chrome, my comic on Fun. He added the one and only unique of original artwork, a double page split. That is really exciting. One guy, first come, first served, only served, and I really like that all in bundle. That I'm a lunatic that way. I got to get everything. If I'm in for a penny, I'm in for a pound. So,
well, the only thing about that all in bundle is it does not have the Aaron Lepresti cover. So,
yeah. Well, but you can get that on its own, right?
You can,
yes.
Yeah,
so there you go.
Absolutely.
that makes that's good salesmanship. That's the smart way to do it. So go ahead, you get the last word. You say what you want, because I got to leave because Carolee Sue DeConnick will be on in 20 minutes. No.
Well, nice. Well, I will tell you how I'll bring it out the way I bring out my own show, which I need to be doing more of my own show. But I always say, um, and until next time, enjoy our wild America.
Thanks a lot, everybody.
All
All
right.
right, bye bye.
See ya.